On this week's episode of The Higher Self, I share with you a moment at Awaken where I describe to you my very first moment with ayahuasca. Many of you have been asking us about it, and this is my personal story, my personal very first moment with the plant medicine that changed my life forever. I hope you enjoy it. Somebody mentioned ayahuasca to me, and I was at my wit's end. I didn't know what else to do. I was all confused about life, and I knew I needed something because I was going nowhere and I was getting there really, really fast. I heard about ayahuasca, which is something that I had heard about for the last 10 years. But I was so in my religious dogma back then that, I was programmed to think that was evil. And so that's what I thought, that was evil and that's for crazy people or whatever the case may be. And so sure enough, I saw a friend over New Year's Eve. He was like smiling like he never smiled before. And he had like some weird hippie face paint on, and he was wearing some weird hippie clothes, and he was in some weird hippie forest or something, right? And I was looking at him and I was like, I know that dude. And I know I'm a dick, but he's a bigger dick. And for him to be laughing and smiling the way he's smiling right now, that's not his normal smile. So something is going on. Something is going on, And so anyhow, I put that in the back of my head. I kept crying and purging and crying and crying, kept staying with myself, no drinking, and things started to get a little bit better. And what I realized was happening is I was slowly detaching from the fear, from the matrix, from the system that I had been living in my whole life, And so the whole real estate community in Southern California was talking about me. Because us Latinos, we love chisme. So I was the center point of all of the chisme, right? And I was just like, having to deal with all of that, and people were leaving the office, and it was just like, I don't know what's happening, but this is just my life, I guess, And so 2 months later, I call him and I said, hey man, I go, what's up? He goes, hey, what's up? How are you? And I go, hey, well, by the way, where were you New Year's Eve? Because you were smiling, like, and you had some hippie shit on your face, and like, what's up with all that, right? And he goes, oh, I went to do ayahuasca in Costa Rica. And every fiber in my being, when he said that, said, I'm in. And listen to me, I was the guy. I was the baptism, studying for seminary, be the pastor. I was that guy. I was that guy that thought that is evil. But you get to a place in your heart where you're finally like, I give up because whatever I'm doing, it ain't working. My thing ain't working. So I am now finally open to something else, right? And so what was the level? What was after courage? Where you're like in the middle, where you're neutrality. That's what you see. That's what was happening inside of me. I was finally neutral. I was finally in a space where I no longer judged from fear, right? I was like, I'm open now. I'm open. You see how this happens? Your energy starts to shift, right? And so in my head, I was thinking, me, I'm a big thinker. So I'm like, okay, how much this is going to cost? Whatever it costs, I don't care. How many of you realize that when you want to transform your life, cost is not an issue? You guys get that? How many of you guys realize when you're stuck in fear, cost is an issue? You guys get that? Yeah? Think about the people who have money. Really think about this. Cost is not an issue. Think about the people who don't have money. Cost is an issue. And some of you may say, yeah, but it really is an issue because I don't have money. I'm going to challenge you. Which is the issue? Is it the fact that you don't have money or the fact that you think cost is an issue? Like, which comes first, the chicken or the egg? I'm telling you, at some point in time, you have to just act as if you don't care. Act as if you know the money is going to come. Notice all the VIP people, by the way, they're like, because they get it. They get it, you understand? There's no weird attachment to money. Who's learning something just in this, what I'm telling you right now, right? Yeah, you guys all get to choose to transform this energy in your life this way. So in my head, I was thinking it's probably like 30 grand or something, which is a lot right now, but I don't care. I just need something. I need to change my life. Sure enough, I think he told me it was like $4,000 or whatever. And I was like, oh, I'm in. And I flew out there and listen to me. Guys, I was one of the biggest scaredy cats in life. So when you're afraid, you attract things that would cause you more fear. True story. At that time, I was going to fly out of LAX, and I was single, so I would go salsa dancing on Wednesdays or whatever the case may be. I would go do my thing. And I used to have this friend in Beverly Hills that was just horrible energy, but he was like Beverly Hills, private jets. And I was just in like a midlife crisis, whatever. Give me a break, okay? Some of you remember that back then. But anyhow, I went to his house and there was a preacher there. True story, preacher there. I attracted this preacher because my fears were starting to come up, right? And the preacher had some really weird vibes to him. So I don't know what kind of a preacher he was, but he was some sort of priest, preacher, some religious guy, whatever. And my friend is trying to talk me out of it. So I think he called the preacher to try to it was one of those jobs, right? And so then the preacher starts talking to me. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to go do ayahuasca. And I was like, he goes, just like this, ayahuasca? I was like, yeah. He goes, just like this. People die from that, right? True story. True story. And in that moment, this is what I had to do. Are you going to listen to you, or are you going to listen to fear? Because my whole life, I listened to fear. I listened to what other people thought for me. Do you understand what I'm telling you? And that's why I was broken inside, because I wasn't living for my truth. So when he said that, I was just like, sounds kind of like the other preacher that told me that I was going to lose all of God's blessings on my life. It's crazy the way you guys work like this. I'm starting to see the tactics. So I thought if I could do it then, I could do it this time. I was like, yeah, it's okay. I'm going to do it anyways. Sure enough, I go on the plane, so forth and so on. I go on the plane. I'm getting ready for the ceremony. I show up. I wish we had a picture of this. I show up in my Louis Vuitton, my Gucci glasses, with the Louis Vuitton bag, with the V-neck to show the chest thing. I am walking in. I'm like, you don't know who I am. I'm DANNY MOREL. I have 25,000 followers. You don't know who I am. I'm the guy around here, right? And so anyhow, the ceremony comes up. So the ceremony comes up. I come walking in the ceremony. Everybody's like, you got to be humble. So I'm walking, trying to be humble. Still with my big ego, right? Trying to fake the funk, right? Oh, get ready, because the medicine has a way to who knows what I'm talking about? You guys know what I'm talking about, right? Oh, get ready. Right, so sure enough, Tom is my shaman. Tom goes, okay, everybody, first cup. And there's this room with whole bunch. Tim, how many people was it? Huh? 50. Massive, 50 people, right? And we're talking CEOs, we're talking a billionaire, cash, billion in the bank billionaire. Some of the most powerful people in the world were in that room, right? That's how you get powerful. You get powerful by removing all of the bad stuff, right? And then you're free. This is how this works. And so anyhow, I go in there and I take the first cup. Take the first cup, I sit down. And I'm strong. And everybody's laying down, moaning. Right? And I'm just So then an hour in, I'm not feeling anything at all. And everybody's feeling everything. So now my ego is really oh, I'm a hot shot, right? So then I will never forget this. This is where life just kind of right? I will never forget this. Tom says, who is ready for the second cup? Because you always have an opportunity to do a little bit more. So I was like, shh. I go up to the altar, I get on my knees, and he leans at me. He's like, how are you, brother? And I'm like, I'm fine. He goes, oh, okay. And he goes, how much do you want? Do you want a little bit? I go, this isn't working. Just give me whatever you want. He literally, I remember his look on his face. He goes, okay. Drink up. So I go, yeah, I got it. I drink. My left ass cheek hits the ground, and I go, oh, shit. Oh, boy, I think I should lay down. And I lay down, right, and everything starts spinning, and you know what happens, it's really beautiful, but you start seeing all the fractals and everything, and I'm laying there like this, like, oh boy, because essentially you're losing control. You understand what I'm saying? It's like everything, all of that was me trying to control the outward show that I was projecting because of my massive insecurity inside of myself. Do you understand how powerful it is what I'm telling you right now? It's like life-changing, right? And so I'm laying there, and I put one hand here, and I'm just like, whoa. And all of a sudden, I'm like, whoa, man, this is freaking crazy. Whoa, what the fuck is going on? What the hell's that? And I'm like starting to panic a little bit, because next thing you know, my arms are like, and I'm like, I'm not doing this right now. Who the hell's doing this right now? And all of a sudden I hear, in Spanish, I hear, mijito. True story. Remember how I used to tell you I always wanted to hear God's voice? It was so beautiful, because she just said, shh, mijito, relax, because I'm about to transform your life the same way that a butterfly transforms. I cannot tell you what that felt like, to finally hear God's, like, it wasn't me. It was something else speaking to me. Do you understand how magical that feels? When you've always wanted to have that spiritual connection. And then I see a cocoon, and then I see the cocoon open up, and I fly out of it like a butterfly, and my journey begins. And that's why the logo is a butterfly. Awaken Your Highest Self. We're having one in June and July. That's right. This last event was so transformational for everybody that came that we decided to have two. And I'm happy to let you know that we're having one June 1st through 3rd here in Austin, Texas, and then one in Palm Springs, California, July 27th, 28th, and 29th. Tickets are officially now on sale. Go to DANNYMOREL.com/awaken to awaken your highest self now. Because when I left that retreat, you have to understand how miserable it feels to not be connected to you. To live your entire life in search of something outside of you. Power, success, fame, money, glamour, materialism, all of that. And then to finally have it and realize, oh my God, I'm miserable inside. So it's like everything you always wanted your entire life, and that is not enough, that feels pretty bad. And so when I left the retreat, I remember I told Tim, I said, Tim, so this is one thing they'll tell you when you go to an ayahuasca retreat, right? They'll say, whatever you do, we know what you feel like right now, don't tell anyone. Like, don't go out there and start telling everybody I was on Facebook, I was on, you guys, everybody, you have to do this. This is the greatest thing on earth. Oh my God, you're going to heal this, you're going to heal this. And I started telling everybody about it. It's what you should not do, but I don't really listen to authority. And I started thinking to myself, and I started thinking like, maybe for some people, they may not be ready to do plant medicine, but maybe, just maybe, we can create an experience that is like plant medicine for them, and that is how Awaken was created. That's the whole story. Understand that? Yeah? Thanks for watching this week's episode of The Higher Self. If you heard something in this week's episode that caused you to think maybe, just maybe, there was a higher potential for your life, maybe there was a potential to earn and receive financial freedom, to attract the relationship of your dreams, or to improve your health, that's what we specialize in. We help wonderful human beings like yourself to unravel all of the limiting thoughts, feelings, and emotions that you've been living through so that you can finally tap into your life's truest potential. If you'd like to talk more about that, we invite you to join us on Instagram or Facebook and email us the word Discover More. And when my team sees that, they will reach out to you, send you the details of how we could help you on your pathway to a life of abundance, fulfillment, and creating the absolute life of your dreams. Message us right now the words Discover More now on Instagram or Facebook, and we'll see you soon.